Hey guys, it's Jumpstart RC, and this will be the first ever car I've seen on YouTube, a micro rally or short course or truggy with a 18 scale system. This is by Castle Creations. It's their 18 scale sidewinder system. Right here is the ESC that I'll be running with it. I won't be running this chassis. I am getting a sheet of carbon fiber from Hobby King, and I'm gonna make a chassis that's as wide as the wheels out. Gonna run dual batteries in parallel on each side of the car. I'm gonna be running a gyro on it too. I have a Savox servo, and I'm gonna be running a Spectrum radio and receiver on this car. It has aluminum shocks from Losi, OFNA aluminum wheel nuts. I will be running foam tires on this car eventually, which how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take the rubber that's off on these tires right here, and I'm getting foam handle grips for a bike. They're exactly 1 inch, and so are these rims in diameter for a 1 inch handlebar, and I'm going to slide them over, glue them on the outside of the rim, and it should be pretty freaking sweet. This car is going to be going insanely fast. I mean, I can't even imagine. Well, oh, and because the motor, this Castle motor is their highest kV for the 18 scales. It's their 8,200 kV. And I did a whole bunch of searching. I did so much searching on getting a pinion gear for this thing, for this motor. Because the regular motors, you actually press fit either plastic gears or a brass gear such as this right here. Unfortunately, this is you could either call it a 64 pitch gear or a 0.3 mod. They make zero pinion gears for a 2mm shaft that is 64 pitch or 0.3 mod. They make a whole bunch of 0.3 mods and 64 pitch for a 3mm shaft, but not a 2mm. So what I'll eventually do is I'm either going to just press fit brass gears onto it, which I don't really want to do, or I'm going to get a TP Power motor, get their smallest motor in this size, and it comes with a 3mm shaft instead of a 2mm. Now, the one thing I hate about this car, I don't know why they just didn't make it a 3mm from the get-go. If you can see on the inside, maybe focus. Okay, well, it's actually a 3mm shaft that runs through. It's 3 mils, but then it actually tapers down to this 2mm at the very end. So that just sucks. I don't know why they just didn't make it 3mm from the get-go, because it would have been so much better. There's so many more pinion gears out there for a 3mm shaft instead of a 2mm. Or instead of 3mm, you could call it 1/8 inch or 3.175, I think it is. Whatever. This car's not going to be running as of now. I still need batteries for it. I had some Venoms, but it was with the old setup when it was originally stock in Brockton. I didn't have a lipo cutoff, and I kind of ran the batteries down like 2 times, one on each of the batteries, even though I had a cell checker on there. It would fluctuate so much, and I had a good one. I had one by Turnigy, which I guess you wouldn't say which is good. Here it is right here. But it's actually one of the more expensive ones for like $15. I paid. It's got like, some Velcro strips on the back, so I can just like Velcro it anywhere I want. But there's gonna be a lot more from this car. If we go here, I'll take my phone on a tripod over here. This is kind of just stuff. This is a Castle 540 motor, and there's the Castle ESC Mama Max Pro. There's little brushed motors, hot racing diff, and FML diff. That's a long story if you watch my old videos on my Rustler. But here's my Rustler over here. I couldn't get the diff to work in it. They kept stripping out. The gears on the inside kept catching. No matter how many ways I would shim it, it just didn't work. So this car is now brushed. It's basically fully upgraded. I have brand new turnbuckles, camber links. I have RPM extended A-arms. These are Ultra Shocks, but they have losi springs on them, the hardest springs, aluminum shock caps, full rebuild on the inside, RPM shock ends, and the titanium rods. It has the aluminum caster blocks. It has the rear aluminum axle carriers. It has the Traxxas CVDs in it. RPM diff, RPM case. I don't have an aluminum gear. RPM shock tower, RPM A-arms, RPM shock tower again, RPM body post. Everything's maxed out on the car, basically. Oh, RPM bulkhead. I did have an RPM bumper, but it snapped in the cold weather. Servo is not upgraded, regular servo. I had that's it, the regular servo. That's the only thing that's stock. And as you can see, I know this switched up from the losi to this car, but there's an insane amount of steering angle out of this car that I've done some mods to it. This thing will turn in about a 2-foot radius, and that's it. And we're gonna come back over to the micro. But the reason why that I haven't been running the Traxxas Rustler is because the diff didn't work. I have an FML and hot racing diff, which are the two big ones out there that you want to buy. And it's just a nightmare with the Castle motor having so much power. I had aluminum pads in it. It was just stripping things all day long. So I'm gonna buy stock pads, run a stock diff, and run the Castle motor eventually this summer and try and get it running. And I'm gonna buy a Slash. Hopefully. That's my plans. And get this little car running. Now, if you've been watching to the very end, I am very surprised, but this will be the fastest losi micro out there. I'm planning to hit 60 miles an hour, not with this motor, but out of a smaller motor that is the same length, but only half the diameter. So it's a motor that, well, actually, it's a little bit shorter than this. This is a 20x40. I'm getting a 12x30, and it's a 4500 kV, and I'm going to try and hit 60 miles an hour with that gear. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Bye.